how to reprogram your mind so that making money is easy. Because right now, making money might feel like an uphill battle. You might hustle all day in your business, try new strategies, and buy a bunch of courses. But no matter how hard you try to reach that next level of income, something always seems to keep you stuck. But the truth is, making money does not need to be this difficult. In fact, when you fix this one thing, earning more money becomes surprisingly easy. So in this video, I'm going to show you the shift that lets people make more money than they ever have before without even having to work any harder. You'll learn the subconscious block that limits how much money you're earning, why some people seem to attract money effortlessly, and how to put yourself in the mental state where money starts chasing you. So why should you even listen to me? Well, I made multi-six figures when I was 18 years old. I have a YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers. I've spent over 10,000 hours studying money and psychology, which makes me an expert. And I've been coached directly by some of the biggest entrepreneurs on the internet, including Nero Knowledge, William Brown, and Charlie Morgan. So the first thing you have to understand is that money is an illusion. And when I say this, I don't mean that money doesn't exist or that it's not important. Money is very important. What I'm saying is that as hard as all of us try to make more money, it's not really the money that we're after at all. If money wasn't able to buy you things, you wouldn't really care about it, would you? The house, the car, the status, those are the things that we're after. We don't care about the money itself. And this perception that money is what we want causes people to pedestalize it. We associate it with things like survival and safety. And because of that, we literally feel like we'll die if we don't have enough money. So every effort to make money is really just an effort to stay alive. And we work so hard for shelter, for clothes, and for freedom. It's like we're living back in the Stone Age. Getting stressed out about money today is comparable to our ancestors encountering a wild tiger. You're faced with a situation that threatens your survival, so you take action to make sure that nothing bad ever happens. And in an encounter with a tiger, this is not only optimal, it's necessary. But with money, it's completely dysfunctional, and it's just going to hinder your ability to make any money. Even though it feels like we're taking conscious action towards a goal, subconsciously, our brains are just trying to figure out a way to help us feel safe. And it tells us that making more money is the way to do that. But if you're in this survival state when it comes to money, you're never going to feel like you have enough of it. So even if you do somehow reach your goal, you're going to feel just as empty as you did before, and you'll work even harder towards your new goal. And then you'll just stay stuck in this loop for the rest of your life without ever feeling safe, no matter how much money you ever have. But if you could still make money when you're in the survival state, why should you even bother fixing your mind? Trying to make money in survival mode is like getting your legs cut off halfway through a marathon. You might get to the end, but it's going to be extremely painful. And even if you do win, your legs are still going to be chopped off. When you're in this fight or flight mode, you cannot think logically or rationally. Every decision you make will be a desperate attempt to get to safety, and you're going to feel completely overwhelmed the entire time you're doing it. This is why entrepreneurs who leave their 9 to 5 just end up creating something even worse for themselves, where they're working even longer hours and they just feel trapped by their business. Even when they achieve the freedom that they wanted, because they're still in this survival mode, they're never going to stop stressing out over their business. They won't be able to sit by the pool or relax without constantly checking to make sure that their business is going well. And they can never enjoy their freedom because in reality, they aren't free at all. They'll convince themselves that they're just extremely productive and have a strong work ethic, when in reality, they just physically cannot stop their urge to go do more work. And what's the point of freedom if you still feel tethered to your business? I mean, is that even really freedom to begin with? On the flip side, though, when you remove your unconscious association of money with survival, it becomes so much easier to make money. You can access your prefrontal cortex and think of solutions that never would have come to you otherwise. Because when you're faced with high-stakes situations when it comes to money, you're not going to get stressed out or anxious. Instead, you'll be perfectly calm and actually able to make rational decisions in the moment. The thought of making money or losing money won't be able to sway you. And on top of that, you'll actually be able to enjoy your wealth instead of just constantly being worried about keeping it. The first thing you have to do is figure out what it is that you really want. Why do you want money? Do you want to buy a house? Do Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to retire your parents? Great. Now let's dig a layer deeper. Why do you want any of those things? Because once you have them, you're going to feel more relaxed, right? And you won't feel such a strong need to go make money. That is what we're really looking for here. It's not the money or the things we can buy with the money, but the peace of mind we think that's going to come along with the money. We have this belief, right? Once I'm making the money I want, then I'll be happy. But what if you could just become happy right now? If you did, money would flow to you automatically. I mean, think about the richest people in the world. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs. They didn't build what they built because they were desperate for money. They built those things because they loved the ideas themselves. Mark Zuckerberg wanted to connect people. Steve Jobs wanted to reinvent computers. And Jeff Bezos just wanted to build the most efficient marketplace in the world. The money came after the creation. They would have worked on these ideas even if the payoff wasn't guaranteed to them. As soon as you stop being emotionally dependent on making money, that's when you get it. Your internal world is just a mirror for the external world. If you don't feel worthy of money, you will struggle to create it. And even if you do manage to create it, you won't be able to keep it. Here's the best way I can explain it. Think about all the celebrities who've made hundreds of millions of dollars and ended up going broke. Whether it's actors, musicians, athletes, it's not because they just suddenly forgot how money works. It's because their internal identity never expanded to match the level of wealth they reached. This is why they start making decisions that bring them back down to what feels normal to them. It's a way to compensate for how uncomfortable having all that money made them. And they overspent their money. They gambled. They did drugs. They made bad investments. Not because they were stupid, but because their nervous system was trying to return them to the level of success that they actually felt worthy of. Think of your beliefs like a thermostat. If your thermostat is set to 72 degrees, the heating system is going to turn on or off until it gets to that room temperature that you're looking for. Your subconscious mind works the same way. If your internal set point is $5,000 a month, anytime you start making more than that, your subconscious mind will always find a way to bring you back down. Not because you want to fail, but because your subconscious mind is trying to return to a level that feels normal to you. So if you want to start making more money, you don't need new tactics. You need to become the person who feels normal earning that amount of money. When that level of wealth feels natural to you, your decisions, your behaviors, and the opportunities you experience are always going to rise to match it. The first step to unlocking this is figuring out your reason why. The money itself is irrelevant, okay? Your subconscious mind has no idea what $50,000 even means. So if you just have some random number, but there's no reason behind it, it's completely arbitrary and it weakens your desire because your subconscious mind is never going to understand it. So you have to get specifically clear on exactly why you want this money. Everything you're going to buy with it, why you're going to buy these things, how you think they'll make your life better, and most importantly, how you think they're going to make you feel. The reason this is so important is because emotion and feeling is the only language your subconscious mind understands. And when your subconscious mind understands the amount of money you want to make, it's going to get you there because the brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. If you have a clear goal in mind and your brain understands it, its mission is to get you to that goal. Like if you have a goal in the moment to pick up a pen, even though you're not consciously thinking about extending your fingers, reaching out your hand and grabbing the pen, picking it up, all of that is going on in your subconscious mind because you actually know that if you do this, then it's going to happen. You know that if you reach for that pen, you're going to pick it up. It has to be the same thing with money. You have to get your subconscious mind to a point that it knows that you're making the amount of money that you want. And once you have solidified that into your brain, it's going to automatically take you on the path to get there. Honestly, just as easy as picking up a pen. You might want to buy a Lamborghini. Great. How will owning a Lamborghini make you feel? Will it make you feel important, wealthy, attractive? Whatever it is for you, that's what you really want. The feeling is what the subconscious mind understands. And this is very important because if you already felt this way, your subconscious mind would think that you already have the thing you want. And like I said, the subconscious mind is a goal-seeking mechanism. If you combine your desires with an intense feeling and play that in your head over and over, eventually your mind is going to become so convinced that you already have it that it's just going to guide you towards it. This is why you see people who have always gotten everything they want. Without ever studying manifestation or visualization, they already felt wealthy or powerful internally. And because of that, they're naturally guided towards their desires. When you convince your subconscious mind that you have something, it starts to summon thoughts into your brain that are meant to guide you towards it. All you have to do is follow these thoughts. Do what they tell you, even if they don't make sense. And the best part, this eliminates the need for new books or courses or strategies. By skipping all those and just aligning your mind with the end result you want, you'll automatically know all the steps that you need to take. So don't get hung up on the middle of it. Just focus on what you want your life to feel like, immerse yourself in that feeling, and you will naturally be directed towards all of it. You have to start with what you don't want. This is called the anti-vision. What are the things you don't want to happen? It's very important to become aware of this because it's probably what's driving these survival behaviors that you're operating from right now. What are you afraid is going to happen if you never make the money that you want? Are you going to be a failure? Are you going to be living on the streets? Will you just be unhappy? Figure this out and then take it even deeper. Keep asking yourself, what's the worst thing about this? If your fear is being a failure, what's the worst thing about that? And just keep asking yourself that question over and over and over again. What's the worst thing about that? Until you go so deep that you have a realization about yourself that makes you go, holy shit. Once you have that, write it out and literally make a pros list. Not a pros cons list, just a pros list. Think of at least 10 different reasons why your biggest fear is actually a good thing. So if the conclusion that you come to is I'm terrified of being ordinary, great. On the surface, this seems like it's only negative, right? But if you deliberately think about it, being ordinary means you won't have to worry about being ostracized by everyone else. You might have a more stable life with less pressure on you, and other people are never going to envy you. The reason this exercise can be so powerful is that most people have deep fears like this because they only see the negative aspects of it. So if you choose to shine a light on the positive aspects, suddenly it doesn't seem so scary anymore. And this makes it a lot easier to finally start shifting your internal world. The only thing holding you back are your beliefs. Beliefs are the foundation of everything that happens in your life. Someone who believes life is hard is going to experience just that. When you have a core belief like this, it shapes your perspective on everything. So even when something good does happen, it goes completely unnoticed because you're so fixated on scanning for the bad things. And then when something bad happens, it's just another opportunity to go, yep, I knew life was hard. If a man believes all women play games, then even when they meet a girl who doesn't play any games, they're going to convince themselves that they are and unconsciously sabotage it because they have such negative expectations. You need to examine your current beliefs about money. And there are plenty of possibilities for what this could be. It could be, I need to work hard to make money. It could be making a lot of money takes time, or making money is difficult. But if you heard any one of these or have another one and you just thought to yourself, but that is not just a belief, that's just true. That's where you need to start, because it's not true. There are people in the world who have the belief it is hard to make money. What they don't realize is that it's not actually hard. Their belief in this just makes it so. If an opportunity to make easy money comes to someone with the belief that making money is hard, they would miss it completely because they're so hung up on this belief that making money is hard. There was this TV show called Gotcha Chicago about some local celebrities who played practical jokes on people. And in one segment, they hired a man to stand on Michigan Avenue holding a sign that said, "Free money, today only." The TV station gave him a lot of cash with specific instructions to give money to anybody who asked for it. And you have to understand, Michigan Avenue, it's one of the busiest streets in Chicago. So if you assume that most people who passed the sign could actually read, how many do you think asked him for money? Well, according to him, of all the people who walked by and read the sign, only one person stopped and said, "Can I have a quarter for a bus transfer?" Otherwise, no one even went near him. He started getting frustrated, and he actually outright said to people, "Please take my money. Would you like some money?" And people just went out of their way to avoid him, and they said things like, "Not today," or "What do you do?" or "Get out of here." What do you think was going on here? I mean, why wouldn't anyone accept free money from this guy? Is it because they don't care about money? Probably not. So If we know that most of these people could probably read the sign and that money is in fact very important to us, then what would ever stop people from just going and helping themselves? What would stop anyone from ever accepting free money? It's because they were not able to perceive what was readily available to them, which is hard to believe because the sign clearly said free money. But it's not hard to imagine once you consider that most people have a belief free money doesn't exist. And if free money doesn't exist, how does someone reconcile the obvious contradiction between that belief and the sign saying that it does? I mean, that's easy. Just decide that the man with the sign is crazy. What else would account for such a bizarre behavior? This is what your mind unconsciously does for every single belief that you have. Your brain doesn't want to sit back for every action you take and wonder, what do I want to believe about this situation? So to avoid such intense overstimulation, your mind automatically filters your experiences with your beliefs. So if you want to change this process, you have to change the beliefs driving it. If you're in a sales call and you have to believe nobody likes sales calls, that's it. You're going to go into every single sales call while you're thinking this, and you're going to behave in a way that creates this very situation. The prospect that you're talking to will not like this call. But if you take a different person who believes everybody loves sales calls and put them in a call with the same exact prospect, that person will indeed love talking to them because they're going to bring a much different level of energy to that call, and they're going to have a much higher chance of closing the prospect. So just figure out all your beliefs about money, whether you think it takes time to make money or if it's difficult, if you need to spend money to make money, whatever it is, just list every single one. And once you have, find all the ones that don't align with your desired reality and write the opposite next to them. If you have a firm subconscious belief about money that goes against the life you want to experience regarding your money, you have to change it. If you believe making money is stressful, then sure, you'll be able to make money, but you're going to do it in a way that you're always stressed out while you're doing it. So to fix this, all you have to do is choose to believe making money is easy. That's it. Once you believe making money is easy, it will be. If you're having trouble finding your limiting beliefs about money, pay attention to your triggers throughout the day around money. Maybe you see someone else making more money and you feel jealous. Dig into your thought process that drives these emotions and try to identify the core belief behind it. Now for the big stuff. How do you change a belief? How do you go from believing making money is hard to making money is easy? The first step is just to decide that you want to believe this new thing, especially the ones that sound ridiculous and impossible. If you have some belief that you're like, no, there's no way that anything other than this is true, just for a second, just think, how would it feel to believe this other thing? How would it feel to believe that making money is easy? How would it feel to believe I'm already a millionaire? If you think that would feel good, why wouldn't you want to believe yourself? Even if you think that you're just being delusional, who cares? Wouldn't it feel better just to believe it anyway? No matter how ridiculous a belief might sound, it doesn't matter because beliefs are not true in themselves. They become true in our experience if we believe them. Maybe you think that making a lot of money is difficult, but that also depends on how you define a lot of money. Someone might think that a lot of money means $10. That's just a belief, right? But if they believe $10 is a lot of money, isn't that easy to make? $10? I mean, but the only thing that makes money difficult to make is your perception that a certain amount of money is harder to make than the rest. But if $10 is easy to make, why can't $1 million be easy to make? I'm going to give you an example from my life that has nothing to do with money. I used to firmly hold the belief that going out to bars at night is boring and stupid, and I would hate it. As soon as we walked in, I was just waiting to leave. But one night, I decided, screw it. I'm just going to decide to believe that it's fun. I mean, I'm here anyway, right? So why not? So I did. I walked in and I just kept saying to myself, I love going out to bars. And because of that, my entire perception of it changed. Rather than shielding my ears from the music, I actually had fun dancing to it. And instead of avoiding the crowd, I was the most social guy in the room. And it was all because I decided to change my own perception. And that is what changed my experience. If you have the belief making money is hard, is it? There are no absolutes when it comes to a belief. You keep thinking that when your experience of money changes, then your beliefs about money will change. But the truth is, your experience of money will never change until your beliefs about money change. If you've adopted the belief making money is hard, period, it's not going to exclude amounts. Your mind will just filter all potential streams of money as difficult and keep you stuck in that loop because you cannot perceive any other reality. But if you believed making money is easy again, nothing would ever be excluded. And you could get to the point where making $1 million is just as easy to make as making $1. So whatever belief sounds good, but also sounds ridiculous, choose that one. Whatever belief you think that is just not true, choose to believe it anyway. And ask yourself, if I truly believe this, would it improve my life? If the answer is yes, just decide to believe it. Now here's how you actually make the shift. Whatever your belief is, think it as a thought in your head. If the belief you chose is making money is easy, just tell yourself making money is easy over and over again. This is already very powerful on its own because you're allowing yourself to have a thought that you've never had before. However, if you are familiar with affirmations, you probably know that robotic statements over and over is not going to change anything. So what will? The secret is emotion. How would you feel if your belief was true? If you really believe something like I have unlimited money or making money is easy for me, what would your life feel like to you? To tap into this, visualize all the different things you'd be doing with your time: traveling, buying expensive things, retiring your parents. See it so intensely that you feel like it's actually happening right now. And now, focus on the feeling that comes to your body and hold it. And while you're doing this, keep repeating the new belief to yourself. This is the most powerful thing you can do. Combining a thought with an emotion is how you shift a belief. Because a belief is simply a thought ingrained in your mind by emotion. Right now, your brain associates some of your beliefs about money with negative emotion. Therefore, you have negative experiences with money. But by deliberately associating money with positive emotion, you start to drain the energy from the negative part and shift it towards the positive. Once you've done this enough, you won't have to deliberately think it anymore. It's just going to become an automatic belief for you. When you reach this point, you stop trying to force money. And you will reach this point I talked about earlier where making your desired amount of money feels natural to you. Even before you make it, you're going to start having thoughts and genuinely feel as though you already have the money you want. And before you realize it, you actually will. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, click the link down below. I will help you identify and remove whatever is blocking you personally from making more money in your business. Whether that means figuring out which emotion you want or creating a visualization scene, you will inevitably start making more money when you pinpoint your subconscious blocks, which is exactly what I will help you do.